If you've been wanting to try marble nails, but you can't use gels, I got you. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail cess DIYer. Today we are doing adorable marble design with not a single drop of gel, and it is actually the easiest kind of marble I have ever done. I've done a bunch of them. I've done gels, I've done stamps, I've done with stamping polish, and this one was so easy, and you don't have to have it to be perfect to make it look great. So we're going to start with the base of dip powder, and that's, if you watch my videos, you know I love using dip powder. This gorgeous light shimmery teal also glows, and it's called You Ruined My Dreams, coming on November 13th from OG Dip Powder. And then the black that I'm going to use is called I'll Explain and I'll Use Small Words. I feel like sometimes I forget to say what dip colors I'm using, so if I ever forget to say what I'm using, I always make sure that I link everything in the description. So if you're watching one of my videos and I forget to say what colors I'm using or whatever, just check the description and I got you. I remember to put it in there. Whenever I'm dipping with shimmers, I typically pour over, but this shimmer has this gorgeous silvery shift in it, and I felt like when I tried to pour it over, it wasn't going to pick up enough of the shift of this silvery, shimmery shift. So I thought, okay, let me try to lay my nail flat into it like I would for a glitter, you know, or a flake or a foil. And it ended up working really, really well to lay my nail flat into it. So if you're struggling with pouring over, you always have that as an option as well. My go-to is like 99.9% of the time for solids and shimmers to pour over, but sometimes, you know, depending on how the shimmer is, it just doesn't always work. So like this one, it worked better to lay my nail flat onto the powder, and I don't dip into the powder. I never liked that. I did when I first started. It just does not come out as evenly for me. I know it doesn't look as aesthetically pleasing to lay your nail flat into powder or pour it over as it does to do that dip. But you know what? That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for aesthetics. I am here to teach you how to dip your nails. Once I'm finished with the teal, I go over it with a layer of clear dip powder, and then once it's fully dry, I activate it so that I don't get any of the glitter into my teal powder. And this glitter, you can also chrome. It is crazy cool. I absolutely loved it. It has all these different reflective colors in it. And you can see as I'm dipping my nails, you can see like reflections of other colors. It looks a little bit silvery too from a distance, but on my skin, you can see that chrome showing up on my skin. I did not chrome any of it since I'm not using any gels for this mani. I just dipped it. And since it's a glitter, I laid my nail flat into it. Anytime I lay my nail flat into a powder, I like to make sure that I shake up the powder in the dip cup, or if you don't have any of these cool little dip cups, you can also use cupcake liners. Whenever I shake up the glitters or flakes or foils, it brings everything up to the surface more. It brings like the pieces that are in there up to the surface. So then you're getting a better coverage. And that's one of my tricks to dipping glitters, flakes, and foils. This way I don't have to place as much when I pour it into a dip cup and then lay my nail in and then do that shake, then do the little shake to shake everything up. Now, since this is a really fine glitter that you can actually chrome as well, you don't really have to shake it up much. I just am in such a habit of doing it that I do it anyways. And then, like I love to do, I put a piece of washi tape or masking tape on one of my fingers in the opposite hand to press down the glitters. This way I'm not touching it with my skin, so I don't have dip and glitter stuck over my skin. And you can see in pretty much all of my videos that my hands are super, super dry. Now in this one, they actually don't look as dry as they normally do, but in a lot of the videos where I go close up, my hands look really dry because I'm not going to try to pretend and like lotion them up right before I do my nails. My hands are just naturally really dry, so I have to put on lotion and cuticle oil a bunch of times a day to help that. That's another reason why I like to use that tape on my opposite hand, because once I get some dip on my skin, it's going to stay there for a while because my hands are so dry. Then when I finish applying that glitter, I go through and I cover it with clear dip powder because I like to seal it in. And you guys see me do this in all of my videos. Every time I use dip liquids, I top with clear dip powder because I don't want to accidentally mess up any of my color, or if I file a little too aggressively with my e-file, I like to make sure that my color is protected. Then I'll go through and I activate, and once the activator is fully hardened, then I can do my filing and buffing and shaping, which I pretty much always do off camera. I have had some requests to do a filing and shaping video, so keep on the lookout for one. It is definitely going to be coming up. I'm going to start working on that really soon to make sure that you guys see all the steps that I do to file, buff, and shape to get those beautiful cuticle lines and get my nails nice and smooth before applying top coat. Now comes the fun part. We are going to do the easiest marble design, and I'm starting with this marble design plate. I honestly can't remember where it's from. I think this one is from Amazon. I'm using my Maniology stamps like I always do. And the first one I'm going to start with is a white. And the thing about this marble design is you don't have to pick up your designs perfectly. That's what's so great about doing a marble is it doesn't have to be perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer a couple different colors. And I'm starting with picking up one design and doing it with white. And the one that I did in white, I tried to pick the one with like the least amount of etching on it so that it would just be a little bit white popping through underneath. Then I went through with this gorgeous silver and I picked up one of the other marble designs. And I'm taking a lint roller to get off the excess stamp that's like around the sides that got stuck. This way, I don't want to get any excess stamping from the other designs on the main one that I'm doing. And then lastly, I go in with this gorgeous navy blue and pick up another image. Once I finish picking up each of my stamps, I let them dry because even though I'm not doing reverse stamping, this is almost like a reverse stamp where I want them to be dry so that when I layer them on, I know that everything is sticking down. And I put my little skin protector thing on. These are from McCart. I got them off Amazon. I will make sure I link that. They're actually always linked in my description because I use them anytime I stamp. So I take my Maniology sticky base and I apply it over my entire nail. And I like to make sure I cap my edges. So you want to make sure your sticky base is tacky but not wet, and you don't want it to be dry. So then I know I can immediately go in with each of my stamps, and I had them all in order. I went white, and then I went to the navy blue, and then I topped with the silver. And I just placed them all over. That was how simple it was that I got this gorgeous stamp design. And then I'm gonna let that dry for a few minutes before I go in with my smudge free top coat. That's from Maniology as well. This is how I skip using gels to do different nail art, especially when I'm using stamping. I go over my entire nail with my Maniology smudge free top coat. I let that dry for a few minutes. And then I go in with my Seche Vite Fast Dry top coat. It's super shiny and it stays shiny on me for at least a week. So I like to use that then over top of the Maniology once it is totally dry, because these are all nail polishes. So you want to make sure that each layer is completely dry. And the smudge free top coat from Maniology dries really fast, which makes it great to use underneath the Seche Vite because that dries fast as well. No matter what I'm using for top coat, I make sure that I cap my edges. So when I'm using the Seche Vite and the Maniology smudge free top coat, I cap my edges with every single layer. Since nail polish typically tends to peel off or chip a little bit easier, I have a better chance of it staying a lot longer. And for me, it stays at least a week with this method. Now I'm gonna go in and do my top coating on my other nails with the dip liquids. When you're top coating with dip liquids and you're skipping a nail, you wanna pretend like you're actually doing that nail so that your timing is correct. So you see me doing the activator on each of my nails and then pretending like I did it on my ring finger. And I'm using the OG dip powder dip liquids, and you wanna do heavy activator for those on each nail. Dunk the activator brush in the bottle and then put it on your nail, and then dunk it back in and put on your nail again. And then when you get to your pinky, you count to 10 and then go back and start with your first layer of top coat in 2 to 3 quick strokes. And you want to make sure that you float your dip top coat. Regardless of the dip liquids that I use, I float my top coat. That is what helps it from not getting contaminated. If you're struggling with any part of your dipping and you really need some help with your basics, make sure you check out the first pinned comment. I have a link to my Dip Nails 101. It is the ultimate guide to dipping your nails at home. It is over 45 pages of everything you need, from prep to application to removal. Everything you're going to need to dip your nails is in one place. No need to wait for someone to ask a question to, or getting approval in a Facebook group about asking a question. Everything's going to be right there for you. If this video got you excited about stamping and you're ready to learn more, make sure you check out this next video. Thanks so much for joining me today, Nail Crew.